So methods of teaching the game in terms of part, whole, part. So if you go to a school to be a teacher, you learn about the part, whole, part method. That's basically all I've done my whole career as a teacher of the game of hockey. Just break it down into parts, do parts of a drill, do another part of a system, then do a whole, then go back to a part, then go another part, then go back to a whole, and you just keep going back and forth until your team eventually starts to understand what you're doing. But why do we do a drill? Are your practices skillful? Is that your emphasis? Are they tactical? Are they system-based? Are they really transition-based? Meaning, is it offense to defense and defense to offense, like the slides I showed a couple back? Do you competitive, or like John Hines talked yesterday, him and I worked together at one time. John's probably in the morning skate, just doing flow. Just a couple of flow drills and they're done. So what is the type of practice you're running? Then the critical part is the development inside the drill. So whatever drill you're doing, are you doing a part of it? An emphasis within a system if you're old enough to be coaching systems? Or are you just doing the whole thing all the time and you never break it down into parts? So as you learn to be a good teacher, you don't really want to do the whole. You really just want to do parts. Well, that really encompasses you to have the maturation and the patience to just, like, how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. You have to be patient. You have to be patient with development. So you look at your ability to get in front of your team and develop players in practice. I believe through time, something for you to consider, which I ask you to be open-minded, it should be part, then a whole, then back to a part. And you got to give that time to grow. The other critical part is, which we all can do, even if you're a coach in youth and you have half ice, that's all you have, 2 days a week. The number of one puck drills you can do, the better your players will become, the faster. So if there's just pucks laying everywhere and you can just take any puck you want and you've got a lot of pucks going because you want puck touches, that's great. But if you really want something to improve tactically, you have to do one puck drills. That's really the critical part. So it's numbers and colors. You know, it's interesting, having coached and grown up in Minnesota and then being able to coach at the National Hockey League level. I got there and, you know, the very first day I'm like, geez, you know, the socks match the jersey. How ironic is that? I'm like, that makes sense, because a lot of guys in the National Hockey League couldn't see a jersey. They couldn't get their head up that far, but the socks match the jersey. But yet when you get to one puck drills, it's basically two colors. It's black and it's white, whatever your colors are. And the more they can read numbers and colors in the mathematical situation you're in, and you put them through one puck drills, the better you're going to probably become in transitional play. That means they're going to go from offense to defense, defense to offense, to offense to offense, to defense to offense. They're just going to click because they're used to playing with one puck, if you take some terminology. So the repetition and the time obviously helps you grow, but that's basically what one puck drills are. They're going to really help you, which I can help you with after too. Now you get into how to design a practice. We go back to 100% of a shift, 50s offense and 50s defense. So if you ask me, through my time in developing players in practice, my number one responsibility, usually if I'm a head coach, I'm running it, I'm organizing it with the staff I have, but really as an assistant, I've probably got one assignment at my level. So I'm either dealing with defense at puck or offense or defense away from puck. But if you put it in just terms of high level math, and you look at just a good player, that's how it breaks down, which then gets you that. That means 80% of your time in development and practice is what you're teaching as a staff or as an individual coach here, how they play without the puck. Because that's really what it's going to get to. In fact, with a lot of kids, depending on the age you're coaching, that 80% is probably more like 90. So for me to continue to want to play this game, somebody in practice has to develop me as to how do I think and how do I support? How do I move? If you have one puck drills and you have a coach that's designed to helping them either offense or defensively, every time you do a drill, there's probably going to be some good success. The more retention, the more interest I have in staying around. Because if I've played for my squirt, my peewee, and I haven't really touched the puck much, I'm not as good a skater. How do I stay around? Why do I want to play? Well, we have to be really good instructors away from puck in practice because it breaks down to some degree in that.